It's this short student guide to the identification of Pinus nigra Laricio. A typical thick-plated pine bark develops with notes of orange and red and brown, and that typical marbled effect on the outer part of each heavy plate. The male pollen cones appear in April to May, pale yellow when fully open. Notice the slight red markings, and here a close-up of the male pollen cone. You can see the rather snub-nosed end to it, issuing copious amounts of yellow pollen, and often borne in large numbers at the base of each candle of new growth. Here the maroon female flowers at the top of the candle of growth, often borne 2 or 3 at the end of each shoot. And these then develop over 2 years, as with all Pinus, into the light brown woody cones. Notice these are relatively smooth scaled and a medium sized cone, ovoid in shape, no prickles. Now the identification of Pinus nigra Laricio is relatively subtle to get the actual form, and part of that is the length and the flexibility of the paired needles, because Laricio has one of the more floppy and mid-green and long needle pairs compared with Pinus nigra or other forms of Pinus nigra. And so what you're looking for is mid-grey green, relatively long and floppy needles, relatively soft, not stiffly held. And hopefully this closer up picture gives you an idea of relatively how soft the needles are as they bend and shift when the spray is put on the scaling paper. Here we can see the close-up, the papery sheath that helps bundle the needles into pairs. Remember, bundled needles is a distinctive feature of Pinus. And the winter buds are pale brown with many free scales and a slight acuminate tip to them. Often there are sort of 4 to 6 clustered at the tip of vigorous shoots. And another very distinctive feature of Pinus nigra Laricio is the relatively small branch size compared with Pinus nigra. So a large upright stem and relatively small, normally tapering curved minor lateral branches, which makes it very suitable as a forestry species.